Hey guys, the plant doctor here. What if I told you that these daylilies that you see behind me here were started from 5 individual daylilies? And I'm going to show you how to do this. You can do this for a number of reasons. You want to plant more in your yard, you want to divide them out to sell them to somebody else. Something very easy to do, does not take a lot of time. This is what we call asexual propagation. We're not producing new plants from seed. We're going to take an existing plant and divide it. So there's several different ways to asexually propagate plants. You have divisions, what we're doing today, air layers, you can do cuttings, you can do grafting. There's several different ways that you can do that. But this is probably the simplest. This works for any plant that grows by spreading. If they have a stolon, so a stolon is going to be a fancy name for a modified root structure. We can divide these off, and that allows us to create new plants that are genetically identical to this. One of the disadvantages to growing from seed is that you get genetic variation. So, for example, these stellas behind me here, if I wanted to replicate these guys by seed, it would be very difficult because I'd get all different heights and different bloom times, bloom sequences. Some may not bloom at all. So this is a method to reproduce what is genetically already here. It's pretty simple. So all you need is a shovel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shovel and I'm going to put it right in the middle of the plant. Knock the dirt off of it, because really all I'm after is the roots here. Alright, so here's what we're going to use to make our division. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I want to do here, I'm going to take some pruners. I'm going to give this guy a haircut. Now there's a reason I'm doing this. We have just cut into the root system of this plant, and believe it or not, plants sweat just like we do. Okay, so plants have holes in the leaves called stomata, and what stomata do, they do two things. They let carbon dioxide into the leaf, and then they're going to release water and oxygen. That whole photosynthesis thing that you learned about in middle school. So they're bringing in this CO2 and they're releasing oxygen. Well, with that oxygen, they're releasing water. Just like you do when you get hot, plants do the same thing. So if we reduce the surface area of the leaves, we reduce the amount of water that's needed for the plant. So I've cut this guy back pretty hard because we're not after blooms for this year. So we're going to plant this. Today's August the 15th. So we're going to put this in the ground, and next spring, so stellas here in North Alabama typically bloom, late April, early May, and then we get some sporadic blooms throughout the year here, as you can see behind me. But we can continue to divide this out. I can probably get 4 or 5 divisions out of this. I can put these in 1-gallon pots, and I can give them to friends, I can sell them, or what I'm going to do is probably just stick them in the yard somewhere else. So this is a very basic example of how we divide plants. You just basically dig them up, and then you can divide these out from there. Thanks for watching. This is the Plant Doctor, and I'll see you on the next episode.